Right, we've got the bot tune extended loom. As you can see, we can now have the ECU next door. So now I've got to try and get that through the bulkhead there. So let's have a go. Right, so I need to black out the Three Amigos from this, because obviously we're not going to have that in the Defender. So I've got to pop this cover off, which is clipped around there, and the dials. And then we'll probably have to undo these screws maybe to get these covers off. But let's get this black bit off first. There we go, there's the pins. They are just pushed in with a metal pin in the hole. So you use a pair of these and just prime out. And there we go. Undo the screws and this whole plate comes off. And you can see on the back which ones we need to black out. So I'm just going to get a bit of paint in a paint tin lid and brush it on. Right, so I've painted the back of the dials. I've painted the bulbs. I've put duct tape over the bulbs, and also, once this dries, I'm going to put duct tape over these, so we shouldn't have any bleed through at all. So I'll put it back together in a minute once that paint dries. There we go. They're all off now. That's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Right, got the new stronger bracket on there, and it is now, I've got to really move it to wobble it about, so it's a lot stronger. We've done the clocks and we've got the ECU wiring in, so not a bad day today. So that goes through the bulkhead. I've still got to sort something out this side, but it needs a couple of P-clips. It needs some kind of security there, and I've had to cable tie it to the pillar. The other option was to come through the tunnel and along there to the bulkhead. But obviously the armrest is going in it, or the cubby box, and whatever we have there, it's got to go. So it's got to go somewhere, and at least up here it's not going to get trodden on or, you know, get too hot, whatever have you. So yeah, so we've got the air horn in, we've got the clocks done and in. I've just got to sort out a surround. What I really need to do now is order the Optimil steering wheel, so I can then finish off the cowling and the switch surround. So right, that's enough for today. And I forgot to show you, the cables go through the above the roof lining, come down, and the ECU is bolted to the side of the van sides on the wood. So it's now out the way, and we should be good there. And I've tested it and it all runs, so I'm happy. This is off so I could get to the other vent, because I had to put the other vent in. Still not got the manifold or the pipe work yet, but I just wanted to get it in there because it's one less thing off the floor. We still need to sort this lot out here. We'll get round to that. That's another job for next week. I want to try and get a load of jobs done on this next week. That is the plan, with the aim to looking to get it MOT'd. So we've got to go through all those bits down there that are left over and see what we actually need. I've got to put the roll bar back on, because now we've finished under the engine bay. Technically the bonnet can come down and that can go back on, so that's another job. So we are getting there. Okay, so face down, arse up. That's the way I like to sort tow bar wiring out. So when I'd fitted it all, the socket was over this side and the tow bar wiring in the car is this side. So I had to take it off, spin all this round, put it through, and I've got it through to here. Now we've got the original tow bar wiring for the disco here, and I have the other end of that wire. So I'm going to connect that to connect the other plug to these, so I can plug it straight in. Now I don't know if this is, well, what's it got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's got 9 pins. So chances are we've got all the stuff needed for the 13 pin as well, but I need to just start the truck up and just check and see which one's permanent live. The only issue is the other socket, which is there, doesn't have all the wires in, because it's only a 7 pin on here. So I just need to either put another plug in, or just for the sake of the permanent live, so it charges the caravan battery en route, we'll just run a wire from here over the top, just on a spade connector, so it can be unplugged separately as well. I think that's what we'll do just to make life a bit easier, because I don't think I'll have the right pins for this. At least it's something we can do in the future. So, right, let's get this wired in. Right, so end of today, we've got the roll bar crossbar back on. So therefore we needed a bonnet prop. So we've got a bonnet prop and sorted out the tow bar electrics. So we've now got the 13 pin all wired in with ignition live and permanent live so that we can connect the caravan. I've still got an earth wire there. I can't remember what that was for. I think that was just a secondary chassis to body earth. So I've already put some in, so I don't need that, so that can come off. So that took up a couple of hours, and I spent the rest of the day packing that. Someone in Malta has bought every steering box I forgot. I've got a load on the shelf, or I haven't anymore, but I did. So I had to make a crate ready for that to go. So that's today sort of dealt with now, really. Home time. Tomorrow, I'm going to clear out this back end and carpet the air compressor box, I think. Right, so that's the box carpeted for the compressors. I'm going to get some conduit and run some conduit up those wires in a little while. And now I'm just fettling the, what's it called? Dashboard top. Hang on. Obviously, when this was on the Defender dashboard, it had the handle here that screwed to it and capped it off. So, bit of cardboard aided design. I'm just designing something up that will sit on there, box it off, and then once it's covered, you won't see it, and it'll just finish that off. Just need to fettle these edges a bit just to make it a bit nicer, but we're getting there. So that's one side I've pretty much done. I've just got to do a bit of cardboard aided design to do the other side. I'm guessing it's just going to be a carbon copy, but we'll double check first. So yeah, obviously that's got to be sat down properly first, tightened down, but yeah, just got to trim it to make it right. And the other one is done. So once it's mounted and then covered in carpet, hopefully they will cap the dash off nicely. So right, now to get this back out and to get these on there. Right, I am by no means a trimmer at all, but there's carpet on them. The edges are capped off. I've just got to cut these vents in, and I'll probably rub these back and give them a coat of black. But yeah, then that dashboard is, you know, back to fairly decent again. I mean, the ends aren't great, I'll be honest. I'm no trimmer, so getting the ends right was a bit difficult. But, you know, it's an old Land Rover at the end of the day. So, I'm going to go home now and come back tomorrow, and I'll get them vents sorted out. Well, there we go. The dash top is carpeted and in. I painted the vent holes and then put them in. So yes, so now I need to go and make a mock-up of the heater manifold. As I say, my friend was going to print one off, but it didn't materialise. So I'm going to try and make one out of metal. So I've got the spare bulkhead outside that's for sale at the minute, so I'm going to go and use that to measure off from. But yeah, just wanted to show you the dash tops in. I think that looks all right. Yeah, right. More model making time. Right, that fits in there just. So now what we need to do is try and knock that up in metal, and we're going to have 1 inch outlets on the top and one on the side, and then we'll just have to work out piping from there, because we can't really come out much more, I don't think. I suppose I could come out a little bit, make it a little bit deeper, to get bigger outlets on there, but I don't know. By the time the BCU goes back in, how much room do we have? Hang on, I'll do this off camera. You can't really see because everything's in the way, but by the time the BCU's back in there and its plugs that are there, you don't really have that much more room. So I think we're going to have small hoses out to adapters maybe. It's going to be tight. Right, so I've got the template. That's all good. I've just ordered the pipe. So I'm not going to bother making this yet until the pipe turns up.
So I'm going to move on to the interior now. Take the seats out, start sound deadening the seat box, and then put some carpet over it, hopefully.
Right, so had the seats out. I've cleaned everything down, brake cleaner. Probably could do with washing that, to be honest. Some of that's still a bit dirty, so I'll get around to that. But I'm now doing the footwells. No, I'm not. I'm doing the seat box. You can see I've already done that panel over there and the side panel. I need to put a bit of in there in a minute once I've done this side. Now, you should probably buy Dynamat and stuff, but I've bought like butyl type self-adhesive flashing stuff. It's what I used before down there, etc. So I'm just going over these bits that haven't got any on. So like, I will do that foot plate, I'll do seat box, I'll do the tub, etc. So yeah, it's just a matter of, I use the heat gun just to warm the panel up a bit, cut the bit to length, peel the backing off, lay it down, and then heat that while rollering it with the little roller there. So yeah, as I say, probably proper Dynamat might be the stuff to use, but this is so much cheaper, and you know, it's got to do something, isn't it? It's got to stop the panel being so rattly. So let's crack on. Right, well, the end of another day. So the dashboard top is done, and I don't know if you can see in here, but I've covered the bulkhead, the seat box, fronts of the seat box. I've done the passenger footwell, which hadn't been done before. This I'm not doing because of the pedal guard. I don't want it to end up being too high and not being able to fit properly, so I'm leaving this. So next to do is the covers for the seat box, and then we'll start carpeting. Well, we've got the seat box carpeted, as you can just about see in the dark hole all the way through. We've got the fronts done, although that looks very reflective, but it is all carpeted. Obviously we need to get the edge trims to go on there just to finish it off. I have also, take you over here, I've also done the covers for the battery tray and various bits. So I just need to put some double-sided foam tape back on those as a seal, and then they can go back in. But first job today is a Ford Transit for Mighty Bear Media, although I kind of, well, know him. I was introduced to him as Jack's Meat Shack. So give them a look up. He does barbecue training. I think the missus might fancy me going to do that. But the job we've got it in for today is just to sort out the tow bar wiring. As you can see, the cover's all been smashed off and it's all flopping about. So we've got a new housing for that, and then we'll test all the pins just to make sure they're all doing as they should. So let's crack on with that. Right, the old one's off. Got a whole new socket, so we're going to rewire it, but I want to straighten that out first, because obviously trying to screw anything to that is just going to bend it and crack it. So let's try and straighten that out a bit. Right, the original plug is, as you can see, wax filled or silicon filled or something, so you can't get at it, so they've had to be cut. So we've put the new boot on, so now it's a matter of just screwing these in. Probably easier said than done, but I'm sure we'll get there. Right, so the wiring that's been used for this, whether it be Ford or someone else, I'm guessing it's Ford, isn't standard colours. We've got 3 or 4 that are, sorry, 4 or 5, because there's 2 browns. But the rest don't match up with the standard colours on here. So what I'm going to try and dig out this sealant so I can see where they go on this plug. If that's unsuccessful, we're just going to have to test individual wire as we go. But I'd rather pick this out, connect it all up, and then test it. So, right, let's dig this out. Right, it's all in, but testing it is not being very successful. We have all the wires connected. I have power to the constant live, but nothing else. No side lights, no indicators. So I've looked in the fuse box and it says fuse F something, F5 under here, hang on. It's for the trailer module. There's a gap just there. Now I've had this out and tested the continuity and that's working, so the fuse is all right. So I don't know at the moment, got to keep looking. Right, found another one for the tow module, which is that gap there, and that fuse has come out and that's all right as well. And the other one for the trailer module is all the way up there. You probably can't see it, but it's right at the top there. It's the only fuse in there. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get up there yet, but hang on. Right, trying to get that one out and I lost it somewhere. I don't know where it's gone, so I've just put a new one in, so we know that that one's good. So right, let's test again now. We've checked all the fuses. No, there's a fourth. 72, it's a 30 amp, so let's just test this one. Right, well, I put the socket together. I still can't get power. I can obviously get the full-time permanent live, but I can't get any of the actual trailer electrics to show up on a circuit. I'm wondering, because the fuse box says trailer module, whether it needs to sense an actual trailer before it'll work. So I'm going to pull it out and plug mine into it and see what happens. And there we go, it's cleverer than me. I know my right indicator doesn't work, that's something I've got to sort out, and obviously my left reverse light doesn't. But yes, we have side lights there, we have reverse lights, we have number plate lights, and we have left indicator. So yes, so obviously needed a load to check it. Never mind, at least we checked all the fuses and make sure everything was right. So there you go, job's a good one. Right, so transit can go back now. So that's a lesson learned. I should have just changed the plug, plugged it in the trailer and see if it works, as opposed to testing it electrically. I would have saved myself half an hour, but never mind. Live and learn. So I'll just charge the customer for what it should have taken, which was an hour. So yeah, so let's get back on the Defender now. Right, so back on the Defender. I've got my Optimil Boss. The only issue is they've sent me the wrong ring. They rung me up yesterday and said, really sorry, yours has been delivered this morning, but we've sent you the wrong ring. So they've sent me out a new one today, so I've just got to give this one back to them at billing, but it means I can at least test fit this and see. This has got to go quite a way back yet, because now with the dash top on, I've got to trim this some more, and we have got loads of room for the steering wheel. So I think this is going to work. So yeah, I'm just going to finish sorting out the covers and then put the seats back in, and then we can work out this. So let's get cracking. There we go. So that's the trims in. They're all clipped in at the back. That one didn't have any fixing in the middle, so we just put a screw in there. So now I'm going to bolt the seats back in, and then we can mount the cubby box. So I was just putting this back together and realised that I had loads of play in the gear stick. So I just had to undo the locking nut, wind it up a bit, wind this nut down so the spring can come down some more. And now I'll do it both sides, and now we are tight. So just taking the play out. Right, so we have got the clock surround in. I don't know if this is the final one yet, or whether we're going to trim another one down, because obviously we've gone a bit over here, but we still need to secure that down somehow. It's only secured at the other mounting points here. Normally these clip in the dashboard. Obviously I've not got that, so we've got to try and find somewhere clipping that down. We can't bring it any further back, because obviously the plugs are touching the surround, so that is as shallow as we can go. Obviously we've got a gap there, so maybe I can get another clock front and trim it round. Also, I'm probably going to make some plastic infills here to hide this. Maybe come down to the bottom of this and up. So that'll be a job for next week. Clock surrounds on, and I'm hoping by the time the steering wheel's here, we'll have room. Won't know till Monday. But I'm sure we can even have a little spacer made up, possibly. So, right. I think that's it now, really, for today. And in fact, for the week, because it is now Friday. Yeah. It's all carpeted, all the seats back in, centre console's back in. Say the clocks and switch around is all done. We're getting there, aren't we? We are getting there. It's getting dangerously close to starting it and taking it for a drive. Anyway, I'm off. Have a lovely weekend. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share. Oh, ladies there. Land Rover, that's better. I'll see you next week. Ta-da.